In the Stone Age, many years ago, there was a thing called boredom. Boredom was an essential feeling. It made people think about their lives and goals. Back then, when people got bored, they didn't have TikTok, so they had to think. A thing not many people do anymore. As a result, these people started thinking about the meaning of life, discovering more about the universe, and they made inventions that would change the world. But then, they made an invention that would change the world forever. Anyway, today I'm talking about why I stopped watching anime and why I think it got out of hand. So, where do I start? Let's start with why I started watching anime in the first place. I was in 6th grade, a kid that didn't have any friends and didn't know how to socialize. So I did what any other lonely kid would do. I tried to make friends. I obviously started watching anime. Like, I mean, who wants to play football when you can watch Death Note? Normal people maybe, but hey, I was a kid watching some cartoons. How could that affect me? Well, it did, and here we come to the reasons why I stopped watching anime and why I think you may need to consider it. Let's start with number one. I think anime is a horrible way to escape reality. So let's clean things up. I'm not talking about the people who just watch anime from time to time. I'm talking about the people who actually love anime and like spend years of their lives watching animes and talking about them to people. And I used to be one of those people. Because the thing is, when we feel empty and that our lives is kind of meaningless, and then you start watching anime, you kind of forget about your reality. And also many animes work on that part. Like, you find the unloved, weak, stupid MC, and a few episodes later, he finds some kind of power and he becomes the strongest person on earth. You see this and you start diving into the character's world and try to escape whatever you're feeling and forget about it. And therefore, we don't try to change anything in our own lives because it's harder. But at the same time, wasting time is not going to make any progress in our lives. Second reason why is that anime is getting worse. In the past, many animes had great animation, storyline, everything. It was great. But nowadays, most animes are just shit. And to find a good anime, you have to dig and find the gold in this piece of shit. Even when you find a good anime, usually the story ain't that good. Third reason why is that novels are better. One of the main reasons I stopped watching anime is because novels are way better. Like, not even comparable. Like, if you read some kind of Korean or Chinese novels, like Reverend Insanity, for example, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's still a fictional story. It's not some kind of literature, but it's still way better than watching an isekai anime with the same story every time. So I'm not saying that every anime is bad, but I'm saying that novels are absolutely 100% no doubt better than both anime and manga. Last but not least, boredom. When we do a hobby like drawing, reading, exercising, etc., we put effort into the thing and then we get pleasure because we did something that's giving us pleasure, giving us dopamine, etc. Sometimes we feel bored and we don't want to do anything. And in that case, instead of trying to fight boredom, we should just feel bored. It's fine. In fact, it's necessary because if you don't feel bored, then you're not really gonna feel joy. So sometimes we just have to feel bored. But cheap dopamine like anime, video games, short form videos, etc., makes our brains used to the cheap, easy to get dopamine. So when we have to do some actual work, we feel pain doing normal stuff. Finally, I'm not saying we should stop watching anime completely. And I'm not saying that I don't do other stuff that are basically a waste of time, because we need entertainment too. But what I'm saying is that anime wasn't worth it anymore for me. So let me know what you think about this topic in the comments and have a nice day.